Open earbuds are really rising in popularity. They're often more comfortable than typical earbuds. Crucially, they keep your ears open to your surroundings for spatial awareness, and now, the sound quality is matching that of in-ear designs as well. Lots of people are now choosing open earbuds as their daily driver. There are now loads of fantastic options on the market, and over the past year, I've been thoroughly testing, comparing, and ranking as many of these earbuds as I possibly could. Just as I do for the Earbuds Awards, each aspect of a pair of earbuds carries a certain weighting depending on how important that is to most people. So sound quality is right at the top. But we also consider things like the mic quality, comfort, the number of features available, among other things, including the price. So with each of these categories compared and ranked, this gives us a total weighted score, and that allows us to rank the very best overall performers. The results are finally in, and these are the top 7 best open earbuds you can buy right now. All of the entries and their current discounts are linked down below in the video description. Up first we have Soundcore's AeroFit 2, and I did initially feel reluctant to put these in because there is another pair from Soundcore that I personally think are better that feature in this video. However, AeroFit 2 did consistently rank in the top 7, even with multiple iterations of the ranking system. The design is different from the other pair, which could be important, and you may simply find better discounts on this pair that make them the better choice. So these are an earhook style open earbuds, and the design here is particularly nice with this matte metallic finish that's rubberized on the inside. The charging case looks great too, though it is on the larger side, however it does offer convenient wireless charging. The earhook is very thin, which is great for glasses wearers, you should be fine, and these feel very light and comfortable to wear. But the fit is also fairly loose. You can adjust it to be tighter though, which is pretty unique among open earbuds, and this also lets you position the speaker more directly over your ear canal for a better sound experience. They've got an IP55 protection rating against dust and jets of water. The touch controls are responsive, highly customizable, and you get a lot of different gestures. The only thing missing really is in-ear detection. The app offers an effective game mode and an excellent EQ selection. There is also a 3D effect. I'm pleased that they specify this is best for gaming and movies because I 100% agree. People can often be misled by surround sound effects since they usually diminish your music quality, but this mode is immersive for films and games. I have a dedicated in-depth review of the AeroFit 2 that's live on the channel already, but one feature that's been added since then is AI live translation through the earbuds. And this sets AeroFit 2 apart from the other finalists in this video. It actually works pretty effectively. Battery life is great at 10 hours per charge, the connectivity specs are good and include LDAC support, and since the low latency game mode is so good, these are the best option for gaming in this video. These are also right up there with the very best market leaders for the mic quality.
As I demonstrated in the full review, the AeroFit 2 mic quality is very good, and these remain one of the market leaders for earbuds. They isolate your voice really well, whilst keeping it clear and easy to understand. So if vocals are a priority, you should definitely consider Soundcore's AeroFit 2.
The AeroFit 2 sound quality is reasonably crisp, clear, and warm in tone. They are quite bass heavy in the stock settings, so I tend to brighten them up with a custom EQ. But bass is something these have in abundance. These are the most bass heavy pair in this list, and it's bass you can actually feel. Open earbuds typically really struggle here, but these can rival some in-ear designs.
They also get very loud. Volume is another aspect that open earbuds typically struggle with, but these can reach pleasingly high levels. And I think those two aspects alone will make the AeroFit 2 the best option for lots of people.
They originally retailed for $99, but I've seen them discounted to as low as $70, which also makes them one of the best price-adjusted options you can get right now. Up next, we have the Shokz OpenFit 2 Plus. I think aside from Xiaomi's OpenWear Stereo Pro, these are the most premium-looking earhook-style open earbuds I've tested. The charging case is fairly big, though it does also offer wireless charging, and the earbuds look and feel great with their rubberized finish and metallic accents. The materials along with the lightweight help these feel very comfortable to wear. The earhook is again very thin and these kind of hug your ear. That keeps them more secure, so I find these even better for exercising. They've got an IP55 protection rating against dust and water. The control system here is excellent and almost perfect. There's a tactile physical button for most of the controls. Lots of people prefer this to touch, especially when wearing gloves or with wet hands, but these also still provide a touch gesture as well. so you can get a lot of controls on at once. What stops these from being perfect is the control customization is annoyingly restrictive, and there's only a tap and hold gesture, so this really limits the potential of what could have been a market-leading control system. There's sadly no in-ear detection either. The Shokz app is very basic, but does provide toggles for multipoint, noise cancelling during calls, and some EQ options. There are a few preset options, a 5-band custom EQ, and perhaps the earbud's signature feature, Dolby Audio. This really adds a much more immersive sound experience, with an enhanced soundstage, better vocal clarity, and greater instrument separation. It works really well. For specs, we've got an 11-hour playtime and up to 48 hours included with the case, which is excellent and the best in this video. Connectivity is good and reliable, we still have multipoint, but you won't find any game mode, high-res codecs, or fast pairing options.
A surprising highlight for the OpenFit 2 Plus was the mic quality. These isolate your voice extremely well, which means you can use them even in noisy environments where most earbuds struggle. I wouldn't say that the voice quality was the most crisp or natural that I've heard, but it doesn't sound muffled and you can still be heard clearly. So overall, these are actually the best pick that I've tested for the mic quality.
So as I said, that Dolby Audio feature does give these earbuds a really great sense of soundstage and separation. The max volume is pleasingly high as well, but you do lose some of the warmth in the bass when you toggle it on, and the vocals don't sound quite as smooth. These sound more balanced and have better clarity than the AeroFit 2, but they are lacking in crisp treble and a full low end compared to some of the S-tier options. The OpenFit 2 Plus has a great design and features, but the near $200 price tag may be too steep for some. Depending on your priorities though, these could be your best pick. You may instead prefer to go for Shokz clip-on design, the OpenDots One, and both of them have made the top 7. I personally prefer this model. It shares a lot of the same features as the OpenFit, but offers superior sound quality in place of the excellent mic quality. These might be the most premium looking clip-on style earbuds out there right now. The two-tone finish on both the case and the earbuds looks and feels excellent. You get a considerably smaller charging case, as most clip-on style earbuds bring, but you still get convenient wireless charging. The left and right earbuds are completely interchangeable too, intelligently switching the audio channels automatically, which is also super convenient.
Personally, I much prefer clip-on designs to earhooks. I find them much more comfortable and seamless, they're better for glasses wearers, but I understand this is a matter of personal preference. The OpenDots One are very comfortable for hours on end, and as with most clip-on designs, they stay in place very securely. These have an IP54 protection rating.
The touch controls are sensitive and respond well, and it's nice having both a tap and a pinch gesture to get more controls on at once. Much like the OpenFit 2 Plus though, Shokz limits the control customization in a frustrating way. However, we do at least have in-ear detection for auto pause and play, which is very convenient. It's still rare for open earbuds, and these are the only entry in this video with the feature. The only shame is that the auto pause is pretty slow. For specs, we have a very decent 10-hour playtime, 40 hours in total, and the connectivity specs match that of the OpenFit 2 Plus.
Where these differ is with the mic quality, and whilst these can be okay for the occasional call, it is an area of relative weakness. It ultimately stops them from taking the #1 spot for the best overall open earbuds. Just think your voice quality isn't as isolated, it's a bit muffled. So I've got these ranked as the poorest option for calls in this list.
The OpenDots design places the speaker a lot closer to your ear canal, and in turn you get a much warmer, richer tone with better bass. There may be other factors too, but your music certainly sounds more full-bodied and immersive here than with the OpenFit 2 Plus, even if you lose a bit of the brightness on the vocals and some separation. The clarity is still excellent, the volume still gets really loud, and the Dolby Audio here really lifts the sound quality, and without the trade-offs you get with the OpenFit 2 Plus.
The sound quality here is a step up into the S-tier category to which only a handful of other earbuds belong. For certain aspects, I would actually say these are the very best sounding earbuds out there, but I think they narrowly lose out on the #1 spot overall.
With the significant sound quality improvements, I would expect most would prefer the OpenDots One over the OpenFit 2 Plus, since both sell at the same price. But it is of course a matter of personal preference, and perhaps you prefer the earhook design, button controls, or prioritise phone calls.
Just before we get into our top 4, I want to quickly mention today's video sponsor, Suunto. They recently sent over their Suunto Run sports watch and the Wing 2 open headphones. They make an excellent sports combination with performance that far exceeds the price.
The watch has a sleek and stylish design and weighs just 36 grams. It's super comfortable to wear, especially thanks to this nylon strap, and the clicky tactile buttons and digital crown make it easy to use. It has a sharp and colourful AMOLED touch display, and although it's designed for runners, it features 34 sports modes. The running features in particular are quite in-depth though, with lots of useful metrics, the ability to race ghost times and friends, and the GPS tracking was surprisingly accurate. Battery life is also very good, with up to 12 days of regular use. The watch serves as far more than just a fitness tracker, with built-in features like sleep tracking, push notifications from your smartphone, and on-device music storage for Bluetooth playback. So you can pair it up with Suunto's Wing 2 bone conduction headphones for direct music playback. It can even provide real-time performance feedback from the watch. It offers head movement control, IP66 dust and sweat proofing, and a feature that's particularly unique and useful are the LED lights. This helps you stay visible and safe, and of course, like the open earbuds in this video, your ears are left open to your surroundings for better spatial awareness.
The amount of features you get with these for what is essentially budget pricing is astonishingly good, and that's ultimately why I wanted to feature them in this video. If you want to learn more, I'm happy to make a dedicated review, just let me know. But the links with more info and where you can buy these are linked down below in the video description.
Getting back to our best open earbuds, next we have the JBL Sense Pro, which were only released around a month ago. They come in a relatively big and heavy charging case, but it is quite premium, as is the finish on the earbuds themselves, and the case does support wireless charging. They feel surprisingly light and comfortable despite being fairly bulky. The ear hook is very thin, and my only slight criticism is that the fit is fairly loose. These also have an IP54 protection rating. The touch controls are sensitive, but there is a slight delay after tapping. There's no wearing detection either, the customization is limited since JBL groups controls together in a set configuration, but you do get a good amount of control gestures. Spec-wise, these offer a decent 8-hour playtime and up to 38 hours in total with the case. There's LDAC and Google Fast Pair support, and even Auracast and Bluetooth LE. You can toggle these in the JBL app, it also has a video mode, equalizer options, and even a spatial sound mode. For once, this is actually fairly good, and does open up the soundstage and separate the instruments, so it can be worth using.
It's better than Soundcore's 3D effect, but pales in comparison to the Dolby audio from Shokz.
You've also got options to adjust the call quality in the app, both yours and what you hear from your caller. In general, these are pretty good for phone calls, but there are other options that isolate your voice a bit more, and they don't clip it as much when you've got competing background noise.
The Sense Pro sound quality is very impressive. You get punchy bass that's balanced out well with some good clarity through the mids and treble. The mids are rich and engaging, and listening with the spatial sound mode, you get a nice separation and open quality with your music.
There are only a handful of open earbuds that I've placed in the S-tier sound quality category, and the JBL Sense Pro are among them. My only criticism is that the max volume could do with a few more notches. They get loud, but I can still listen at max fairly comfortably.
The JBL Sense Pro is so new that we don't actually have a US price just yet, but I picked up mine for £139.99 on Amazon, and they're officially listed for $159.
The pricing is pretty crucial because the cheaper JBL Sense Lite carry most of the same great features as the Pro model. They don't quite match the Pro's spec sheet or sound quality, but for $89.99 they could be the better value option. And I was extremely close to putting these in instead, so I at least wanted to mention them here.
Next up we have the Bose Open Ultra, one of the first open earbuds to hit the market.
This is another pair I really struggle to include because I am factoring in price, and these are stupidly expensive at $300. However, the performance in lots of areas is fantastic, perhaps market leading. In the end, the performance meant that I simply had to include them. But fortunately, the price has come down drastically to $200 since their launch.
The earbud design is sleek and minimal, as is the charging case, and I like the way these quickly and seamlessly clip into position on your ears with the rubberized hinge. They're light, super comfortable, and easy to forget you're wearing them. There's an IPX4 rating here for splash resistance, and I find these stay very securely in place. The pinch controls, which use a physical button here, not only feel tactile and responsive, but also very intuitive to use. It's one of my favourite control schemes actually, though they're not perfect since the customization is very limited and there's no in-ear detection either. The Bose app is reasonably limited, the EQ for example is only 3 band, but there are some interesting features like auto volume, which adjusts based on your surroundings, and Bose's immersive audio. This is their version of spatial audio, and it's actually quite effective here.
It's essentially just as good as on their flagship in-ear earbuds, and the head tracking is quite accurate.
Spec-wise, these offer 7.5 hours of listening per charge and around 26 in total, though this does drop off considerably if you use the immersive audio, so battery life isn't the best. The Bluetooth spec is a little dated now too, though not actually an issue realistically. There's no low latency mode, but these do support Google Fast Pair.
The mic quality here is reasonably good, and I think my voice typically came through loudly and clearly, so I've given these an A tier ranking. Background noise can sometimes muffle or clip your voice though, and these don't isolate quite as well as some of the S tier options. So these are good for phone calls, but a step down from the best options.
The Open Ultra's sound quality is pretty underrated and is a huge part of what contributes to their high overall score. I think these offer the best balance from any open earbuds. The mid-range is rich with smooth vocals, there's tight, punchy bass, and great clarity throughout. The treble is also crisp without ever becoming too harsh, and there's good instrument separation.
My only real criticism is wanting a few more notches of volume. The bass gets reduced at the max level, and these only get fairly loud at best.
I've gone back and forth between these and the Shokz OpenDots One for the sound quality #1 spot. I like aspects to each of them. Shokz has a wider soundstage and a more immersive quality, especially with Dolby Audio, plus louder volume and a better EQ. But Bose offers more bass, smoother mids and vocals, and better overall balance. Price adjusted, Shokz would win. The Open Ultra doesn't sound $100 better, but since they're currently matching on price, I'm leaning towards Bose as having an edge. Bose also offers by far the widest selection of colour options, in case that appeals to you. They're undoubtedly an excellent pair of open earbuds, but at their full $300 pricing, I'd find it tough to recommend them.
However, it does seem likely that you'll be able to get them for under $200, at which point they are definitely worth considering, especially for the sound quality, the button controls, and the comfort.
The penultimate entry is the Inspire XC1 from Baseus. The design here kind of reflects the budget pricing. These are a little plasticky and rigid, and the sound by Bose branding is a bit garish. More on this later. The charging case is nice and compact though, definitely seems inspired by the OpenDots One design, though unlike Shokz, it doesn't support wireless charging. The earbuds are still interchangeable though, which is nice to see. The earbuds' rigid bridge makes it easy to grab and position the earbuds, though the lack of flexibility does inhibit comfort. You start to notice these pinching a bit a lot sooner than the others we've seen so far. The fit remains very secure though, and these have a decent IP66 protection rating. There is a single button control here for each earbud, it's positioned intuitively and is easy to press. You get a good range of gestures and control customization, but there's sadly no wearing detection. The Baseus app offers some good features like a low latency mode, toggles for Dolby Audio and LDAC, along with an 8-band custom EQ. Unfortunately, all of those sound adjustments result in poorer quality. The Dolby Audio brings a slightly echoey quality despite widening the soundstage. It's not nearly as polished as the one from Shokz. LDAC brings a surprising but noticeable dip in sound quality and locks you out from any further sound adjustments. And adjusting the EQ from the default Bose tuning, I always found resulted in poorer sound. For specs, we have a solid 8-hour playtime and up to 40 hours in total with the case, and the Bluetooth version is the latest 6.1. Strangely, there doesn't seem to be any Bluetooth LE though. There's also a low latency mode for gaming which works fairly well, but it's not as good as the AeroFit 2s.
The XC1 surprised me with just how good the mic quality is, and not just for the price either. They're one of the best options I've tested. I've given them an S tier ranking, and they isolate your voice from background noise really well. They can still muffle your voice sometimes, so they're not the best option for calls, but still a very good choice.
Their greatest strength though is in the sound quality, and that's thanks to the hybrid dual driver design and the sound by Bose tuning. You can hear the same characteristic profile. These are also very nicely balanced. The bass response is very similar and is good, and these get considerably louder than the Bose Ultra Open. However, there's not quite as much clarity or separation, and I would expect as much for a considerably cheaper model.
Still, these are easily one of the best sounding options on the market and probably just sneak into that S tier category. For earbuds under $100, there's only one other pair that I've tested that can beat these for sound.
The Inspire XC1 have a few drawbacks to contend with, but remain one of the best all-round options you can buy. Factoring in the sub $100 price tag, they're easily one of the best value options out there. And our final pick, I'm sure lots of you will have guessed, is Soundcore's AeroClip. In my full review on these, I suggested these could be the best overall open earbuds on the market, and here's why. The design first of all is simple, but a little more premium than the price would suggest, though it's still far from the likes of the Bose or Shokz options. The charging case is very small, it has good magnets and easy access to the earbuds, but it sadly doesn't offer wireless charging. The earbuds bridge is also quite rigid, but unlike the Inspire XC1, these feel a lot more comfortable and don't feel like they're pinching as much. They just feel a lot more seamless on the ear, and the fit is very secure. These also carry an IPX4 protection rating. Soundcore includes some rubber grips to improve the fit or comfort as well, and for some that will be important, and most open earbuds don't offer this. The touch controls here are very responsive, and you get good customization in the app, but the downside is only having a double and triple tap, so you don't get access to many gestures, and there's no in-ear detection either. For specs, these offer an 8-hour battery life, 32 in total, there's Bluetooth 5.4, LDAC support, but no low latency mode or fast pairing options. You don't get a lot else in the companion app, which is a little uncharacteristic from Soundcore, but you do still get their great EQ selection, including an 8-band custom option.
The AeroClip mic quality is extremely good and rivals the market leader. I mentioned with the Shokz OpenFit 2 Plus that there are some options that have a more natural and crisp sounding voice quality, and I'd include AeroClip as an example of that. The AI noise reduction is quite aggressive, and it can sometimes muffle your voice slightly, which is where Shokz has an edge. But if you prioritize phone calls, then these are another excellent option.
The main reason AeroClip scores so highly overall is for great call quality and great sound quality. AeroClip has a rich and lively sound profile with a warm bass response and good clarity through the mid-range. The highs are a little mellow in the default settings, but you can make them sound a bit more crisp with a custom EQ. Whilst the bass isn't nearly as deep as it is with the AeroFit 2, the overall balance and clarity is certainly a lot better here, and the sound is still full-bodied and engaging in a way that so many open earbuds struggle with.
You don't quite get that same sense of soundstage and instrument separation as with the OpenDots One, but these are still comfortably in that S tier category for sound quality.
I've got Soundcore's AeroClip ranked as the best all-round open earbuds right now, and when you factor in the current discounted sub $100 pricing, these are also one of the best price-adjusted options you can get too. This table here summarizes the key spec and feature differences, so feel free to pause and browse which earbuds tick the right boxes for you. And here is a summary of the rankings for the key categories. Soundcore's AeroClip takes the #1 spot with my ranking system. It's the pair that I'd have to recommend to most people, especially with the price being factored in. But your personal priorities may be different. You may be looking for specific features like wireless charging, in-ear detection, or button controls, and that will likely change what the best option would be for you.
For me personally, I don't use open earbuds for calls very often, so I'd place less emphasis on the mic quality than I did for a ranking system that's designed to suit the average user. And for me, the Shokz OpenDots One would be my personal favourite.
They've got a premium design that fits securely yet very comfortably. I love having in-ear detection, wireless charging for the case, and the sound quality with Dolby Audio is fantastic. The feature set here is vastly superior to the Bose Ultra Open, and although the price is fairly high, I think it's worth it for me.
So that was a look at the best open earbuds on the market for 2025. Let me know in the comments what you'd pick as your #1 choice. Remember, there were a lot more earbuds that went into the testing process than just the top 7, so feel free to ask any questions about any models that you think should have made the cut, or any specific questions that I didn't cover in the video. I'm more than happy to help.
If this video was helpful in any way, then please give it a like to let me know. Do subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and be sure to hit the bell icon so you actually get notified when new uploads go live. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you next time.